Hello everyone, today we'll discuss about database management system. In this part 1, I am going to explain few concepts regarding database management system. So first we'll see the introduction to databases. So we need to know what is data before learning about database management system. Okay, so data is nothing but facts and statistics stored or free flowing over a network. Generally, it's raw and unprocessed. So, whatever information we have, whatever facts and statistics stored or free flowing over a network will be in the form of unprocessed unprocessed data. So data is nothing but it is the facts and statistics stored over a network. So unprocessed things are called unprocessed information is called as data. It may be anything. It in the form of text. We'll see one example. When you visit any website, they might store your IP address, that is data. In return, they might add a cookie in your browser, making you that you visited the website. That is data. Your name, its data. Your age, its data. So whatever may be the website, when you visit any website, they might store your IP address. So that is data. That is called as the information which is stored is called as data. In return, they might add a cookie in your browser, making you that you visited the website. After visiting the website, they might add a cookie in your browser. So here the name is data and age is also called as data. So it is nothing but the information you are having in the form of text or in the form of digits. So data can be anything in the form of text or in the form of digits. Numerical data will also be there. So this is one of the example. Whenever you are visiting a website, you can observe that data becomes information when it is processed. The raw data, when it is processed, that becomes as a meaningful information. Okay, so information is nothing but it has some value, it has some meaning. Okay, so data becomes information when it is processed. Processed means after converting the data into some form, that processed data is called as information. Like based on the cookie data saved on user's browser, if a website can analyze that generally men of age 20 to 25 visitors more, that is information derived from the data collected. So all the things that are collected by the website, like based on the cookie data saved on user's browser. If for example, we'll take a website or any browser. So based on the cookie data saved on user's browser, if a website can analyze all the information who visited the website between some age group, so this is all called as information. So whatever may be the processed data derived from the data collected, okay, that is processed data derived from the data collected. So everything completely it may be data, but only after processing the data will get the information. Information is nothing but a processed data, okay, which has some meaning, so which is useful for us. So we'll see what is database system. Database is collection of data which is related by some aspect. So what is database? It is the collection of data and which is related by some aspect. So for example, we'll see data is collection of facts and figures which can be processed to produce information. Data is collection of facts, some facts and figures which can be processed to produce information. So database is collection of data which is related by some aspect. So in data you are collecting, if you have some information collected, so that data, if you have some data collected which is the collection of facts and figures, so the data can be in the form of facts and figures which can be processed to produce information. So this data which is collected it is having some relations with related to some employee, related to some organization, like that it is related. All the data which is collected in it is related by some aspect. So you will have relations between in you will have relationship are related to each other. For example, if we take employee data, so employee id, employee name both has relationship. So that if you have the employee id, we can have employee and an employee id and employee salary both are related. A particular id will have some salary, so that's what it related is. So we have to understand that database is collection of data which is related by some aspect. For example, if we have data about marks obtained by all students, we can then conclude about toppers and average marks, etc. So if we have the data about marks of few students, for example we take 5 students data, we can then conclude about toppers. Among them we can conclude who are the toppers and who are the average marks candidates. So this is nothing but the data is collected, and from that we are receiving the toppers and the average marks candidate students. Toppers and average marks, those who got topper and top marks and those who are getting average marks, all this is we are taking from a particular data. So the database management system stores all this data in such a way that it is easier to retrieve, it is easier to make operations on that, like insertion, deletion, anything, any operation we can do related to the data. If we have data about marks of all the students, we can get some information, we can get some a single piece of data can also be retrieved. For example, if we take an employee a student data, among that in the student data, if we take the students registered number, so that is called as data. We are collecting a small piece of data from a large amount of data. So for example, if we have about marks, if we have data about marks obtained by all students, we can then conclude about who are the toppers and average marks, who obtained average marks and who obtained top marks can be identified easily. And database management system stores data in such a way that which is easier to retrieve. That means uh, a database DBMS is nothing but data management system. So this management system, what it does, it stores data in such a way that all the data which we want, we can retrieve from that database management system. So we can retrieve whatever type of data which is present in the database management system. We can perform some operations on that, like insertion, deletion, updation, and some more operations which we want. We can modify it. So such manipulations can be done by using this database management system. DBMS is a set of programs that allow users to create the database and also allow to access, modify, print and delete the data from a database. So what is DBMS? It is a set of programs. And for example, we can take MySQL, Oracle, all these are the examples for database management system. So it is a set of programs that allow users to create the database and also allow to access, modify, print and delete the data from a database. So by using a database management system, we can get access to the data which is stored okay. So DBMS is a set of programs that allow users to create the database. So it allows users to create the database and also allow to access it, okay, and delete the data from a database. So a part of database has much data in it. A subset of, or we can say DBMS is a set of programs that allows users to create the database. So a DBMS is required for us to have access to a certain data. For example, if we have large amount of data, we want to store that somewhere, so we can use database management system, which allows us to store that database. We store that data in the form of database, and also allow access to get some access to that data also. So and delete the data from a database. So database is having large amount of data. Among that, in that data we need to perform some operations, then we can use DBMS. For example, if we have data about marks obtained by all students, we can then conclude about some toppers. A database management system stores data in such a way that which is easier to retrieve, manipulate and helps to produce information. So this is all about database management system. I think you got some idea about what is data and what is information and what is database and why we need database management system. So these are all the important topics you have to cover whenever you are learning DBMS subject. Thank you all.